So John, vSphere offered VM encryption, being able to encrypt, a given VM. Of course, vSAN has its own encryption offerings. What's the difference, and how should I decide on using one versus the other?
So there's some distinctions here. So VM Encrypt, as the name sounds, it's just encrypting a single VM with its own key. And this is going to encrypt at the vSCSI layer, and then before it goes on to whatever that storage network is, assuming you're using external storage, iSCSI or Fiber Channel, it will now be encrypted before it hits the wire, so to speak, and goes over the storage network. And this can be especially critical in cases to where, you may realize, or people may not realize, is that, your existing vSphere storage technologies, Fiber Channel, iSCSI, NFS, none of them actually support encryption at the protocol layer. And so this is providing a critical service for people who are worried about people sniffing their networking traffic, more advanced threat, persistent threat actors, and things like that operating in environments. This can provide an extra means of protection. So, or a hostile storage admin scenario. Not that all of us who were storage admins weren't hostile for deserved reasons at time or another, but maybe we didn't go full rogue or something. But the vSAN encryption is unique. So there's data at rest encryption. And so what this does is this provides, once the data goes to the host with the disks it's going to encrypt on, it's going to provide encryption that encrypts the data before it hits the initial write buffer. It will decrypt it into memory when it moves the capacity device. And this is critical so it can do a dedupe and compression pass. And so that way we can still get data efficiencies. If you try using VM Encrypt on vSAN, it will work, but you're going to break dedupe and compression. The other differences between these and historically how these operated is you could not use VM Encrypt to encrypt the vCenter server. While vSAN encryption, we don't really have any chicken egg concerns there of using even with external key managers. You could still encrypt the vSAN, the VCSA. The host would directly talk to the key manager. The other option is vSAN encryption can be used with vSAN data in transit encryption. And this gives us that data in flight. The storage network is now encrypted. We already were securing it. So we already were pinholing only open firewall ports between hosts that belonged in a cluster together and things like that. But now we're making sure there's TLS encryption on that. So much like vMotion encryption, this auto negotiates the keys. This actually doesn't require the key manager like we do with VM Encrypt or vSAN data at rest encryption. This is something that can be used independently or with data at rest encryption. This is an amazing technology, though, for helping increase the security to where we're against even the most advanced nation state actors. We're in a situation where we're not necessarily worried about the storage network being compromised.
I see. So now, just as a quick follow-up, then, would you ever recommend a situation in which the vSAN encryption services and VM encryption would ever be used at the same time, or would you generally recommend not?
In that case, you would be double encrypting and you would be breaking the dedupe and compression. So no, I would just turn on vSAN encryption and the data in transit. The only little small technical difference is you can use unique keys per VM with VM encryption. But really from your segmentation of access control and things like that, there's kind of other ways to do that. Do note that there is an administrator account within vSphere, and then there is an administrator no crypto account. So there are different account controls, and try not to just be using a full administrator for all day-to-day activities. Try to do some segmentation of authentication controls, the other kind of final bit here.